I want to ask you as we wrap up, as a former Israeli intelligence officer, to respond to the claims that Candace Owens over the past few days regarding Israel and France working together to assassinate her, money having changed hands. She's got the names of the assassins. I mean, you talk about opportunists and you talk about people who have completely lost the plot. What is your reaction as someone who worked in the intelligence field in Israel to the plausibility of something like that and to what she does in general in this space?
Yeah, I mean, I really can't tell if she's just playing this, card in order to spike her popularity. It just she seems to have gone off the completely anti-Semitic conspiracy theory deep end. This is not how intelligence agencies in democratic countries work. They don't assassinate public figures. They don't assassinate journalists. They don't assassinate influencers. Even to make a decision to assassinate a political or a military leader of a foreign enemy is a huge
Yeah.
deal. To choose to assassinate a non-political, non-military figure in an allied country is something so completely off the books it's not even in the worst fiction novels that you might read about intelligence agencies. It's an absolutely ridiculous notion.
You look at, I mean, particularly the element of France and Israel suddenly deciding that they love each other and want to work together towards this common cause. I mean,
Yeah.
Macron was standing there shaking the blood-stained hand of the president of the Palestinian Authority, as he called him, or of Palestine, the man who currently, not previously, currently pays terrorists to kill Israelis. And all of a sudden, though, they're going to put those differences aside in this one common purpose. It is, I mean, she doesn't even look embarrassed when she says it.
Yeah, she's not blinking. I mean,
Right.
it's just so ridiculous. She seems to be spiraling off the deep end here into these conspiracy theories, as
Mm.
anti-Semites tend to do, because there's just absolutely
Yeah.
nothing rational about it. And if,
You
if
wait
Israel
though,
were,
Dan, because
yeah.
she has receipts and she has evidence. And if you just subscribe to her paid Substack, you'll see.
Oh, is that what
You'll
it
see.
is?
I mean, whatever it is, it's always something to do with. It'll come if you just. I want to end this on somewhat of a positive note, if I can. What are you hopeful about? What element of this calamity right now, this mess, gives you hope? Is it that we're almost at rock bottom, which means we'll have nowhere lower to go?
Quite the opposite. The last few years, and prior to October 7th, which was, here in Israel, an absolute low point in so many ways and the tragedy of the day. But prior to that, I was working very deeply on the Abraham Accords, and what I realized, traveling around the Middle East, speaking to dozens and dozens of Arab and Muslim intellectuals and journalists and even religious leaders, that they're actually, the Middle East is starting to work together. I'll say this cautiously, against the radical axis. And if there's one massive bright spot that came out of the last 2 years of war, is that the radical axis led by Iran with the Hezbollah, with the Syrian regime, which has fallen, and Hezbollah, which has all been but defeated, and Hamas, which has all been but defeated, and the Houthis, who were severely weakened, is you have a window of opportunity here in the region. You have countries who were afraid of the radical axis who get it. You have countries, as I mentioned, who have outlawed Muslim Brotherhood as terrorist organizations. They all recognize Hamas as a terrorist organization, and I want to say something here that seems to have gone under the radar of everyone. I've got an article and some documentaries that'll come out soon on Middle East 24. Is the genius of the Trump peace plan, the 20-point peace plan, which was adopted by the United Nations Security Council, was not that Hamas accepted it, because Hamas didn't accept it. It's that virtually the entire Arab world and most of the important Muslim powers in the world, including Pakistan, including
Indonesia.
Indonesia and others, all stood on the same side of the agreement as Israel was and against Hamas.
Yeah.
And the agreement very clearly put the blame of this conflict on Hamas. It said Hamas has to disarm, demilitarize, and Gaza has to be de-radicalized. Hamas cannot stay in power. I mean, that's a major achievement in the balance of power. It was partly brought about because of Israel's massive military victories. Israel's not always good at translating them into strategic victories, but the military victories of the last 2 years have been astounding. And I think we're on the right trajectory in the Middle East. What I hope is now happening in the West is as we're uncovering how much of this radicalism is actually fake,